Certainly this gives me an avalanche and the most inestimable pleasure for me to officiate a program of such dynastic nature, SCI-BONO. The Gauteng Department of Education plans to increase the province's pass rate to 90% and bachelor's pass rate to 50% this year, with the focus of narrowing the 7% gap in NSC pass rate between government schools and former Model C schools. More emphasis will be placed on encouraging students' participation in the maths and science and making sure that 17.5% of students achieve 60% or higher in maths and 21% of students achieve 60% or higher in physical science. Good evening, my name is Colin Hunt and welcome to SCI-BONO. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. Tonight we are joined by Mr. Vincent Zulu, who is a learner support manager representing SCI-BONO, and later on we will be joined by Mahlomola Kekana, President of the United Front for School Governing Bodies, as well as our resident analyst, Mzimkhulu Hlalukana. There is a great concern about poor rate in mathematics in our schools and about the increase in number of learners who drops mathematical literacy. What is this telling us, Baba Zulu?
Dr. Hans, maybe let me start by greeting you and the viewers at home, and thank you for having me on the show. Look, learning doesn't start in grade 12. It starts with a reading for meaning. I think you may have seen the concern around, reading at lower grades, that there is a concern. Because if you can't read properly, then it means you cannot interpret even questions properly. So I'm trying to say government, is doing by all means to make sure that the entire system is actually making sure that by the time learners reach grade 12, they are ready to master mathematics. Because remember, mathematics, unfortunately, is not in our African languages. It's in English. So we have to start by making sure that our learners are able to read. And then from there, we then begin to look into how do we make sure that they interpret the questions and so on correctly, so that when they respond accordingly. But maybe let me start here. As SCI-BONO Discovery Center, we are a strategic partner of the Gauteng Department of Education. We are assisting the department in enhancing learner performance. We're very clear in terms of our mandate, but our main focus is math, science, and technology. So maths being part of it. There is quite a lot that is being done to ensure that the system is corrected and we make sure that there are quality results in mathematics. And I'm sure as we continue with the show, we'll be talking more about those details.
What truly baffles me is the effort given to mathematics and science and forgetting the literacy part of it, which is reading with understanding, because of what I'm seeing now is not much focus is based on English as something that can make them to flow through the very emphasis of mathematics and science. What are we doing about literacy?
Something is done about literacy. There's quite a lot, as I indicated earlier on. I mean, you will realize that there are even sessions where young people are taken through reading. There are these days bedtime stories. If you go around the province, you'll realize that different schools, through the guidance by the Department of Education, they are doing reading to try and close that particular gap. But look, mathematics is broad. You'll understand, because when we try and ensure that maybe somehow learners at a tender age understand mathematics, but the fact is you have to make sure that they understand English first. Unfortunately, that's a universal language. For us to achieve what we want to achieve, we must make sure that learners are able to read for meaning, as I indicated earlier. And that's where the main focus is at the moment.
Now, history continues to sparkle with amazing examples of the past. But where we are ideologically and politically, it's very, disturbing to do comparison. But back then, you'd find that schools will invite institutions or private sectors that will come and test the eyes of the young people. Now it goes back to a narrative: blacks cannot read. The true sense of it, many people cannot see. And these people start with that. That's why we even have undiagnosed or maybe untapped difficulties like dyslexia. that we cannot pick. And all these things tells me that why can't we have the same thing that me and you had back then without having to make a mistake of historical comparison, which is just unfair?
Look, I don't think we can avoid making those historical comparisons. They are there. I'll make an example. We are running the secondary school improvement program as we speak now, comprising of more than 93,000 matriculants. And the government has come up with this particular program to ensure that those parents who are not affording to take their learners to extra classes, at least government comes up with a program that will accommodate those particular learners. But also, as SCI-BONO, because we're a non-profit company, we're helping the Gauteng Department of Education to come up with partnerships so that we ensure that we close that gap in terms of learners who are privileged to go these extra classes and all that. As we speak, particularly in mathematics now, we have partnered with the institutions of higher learning to ensure that at least we produce high quality. I mean, as you were doing your what you call your introduction, you made it very clear that we want to achieve at least 50% bachelor pass. And we can only achieve that if we get quality also in mathematics. So what we are doing, we are partnering with the institutions of higher learning to ensure that, particularly in maths and physical science, we are getting quality passes. There are classes that are running. Government has come up with a Saturday program for just above 93,000 matriculants to ensure that at least every Saturday they go to attend these classes. You may have seen learners wearing uniforms going to different parts of the province attending Saturday schooling. Those learners are fed, those learners are transported every day. There are tutors that are selected using a criteria to ensure that we select tutors or teachers that are good in their subject areas. Those teachers are paid for rendering those particular services, just to ensure that at least, including mathematical literacy, learners are performing very well, because we cannot end up ignoring that aspect. Otherwise, we may end up not getting the results that we desire with the Department of Education. But our main focus is your maths and science, your technical maths, your technical sciences, and so on, to try and ensure that we prepare our learners for the mainstream economy.
I would love us to get into how schools cooperate with this institution, because we don't want to wake up one morning and calling this a white elephant. Are you happy so far with the engagement, the cooperation of school governing bodies, the principals, bringing young people to understand what is actually happening in your establishment?
Yeah, look, specifically the secondary school improvement program took a multi-pronged approach where all the other stakeholders are involved in running the program, because we can see it's a massive program. I mean, if you have 93,000 matriculants alone in the program, that's above 7% of the total population of the entire matriculants we have in the province. So districts, led by our advocate, Alison, who's the Deputy Director General, who's in charge of the curriculum management and development branch, is working around the clock to ensure that they work with their school government bodies, they work with community-based organizations to ensure they encourage these young people to get into those classes every day. As we speak now, at least the learner attendance on the Saturday program, it's sitting at about 88%, which is not bad when you look at the 93,000 learners that I spoke about earlier on.
The department continues on this engagement, and we're still with Mr. Zulu to engage further into many other aspects, even how best we can get to work together and see to it that what they want will definitely be achieved. Is 90% achievable or 50%? We'll talk about those when we come back. Welcome back to SCI-BONO, and thank you for sticking with us. Only 38.4% of matriculants who wrote the 2022 exams managed to attain great marks to be accepted to a bachelor's degree, in contrast to the 89.32% of those who wrote the IEB, Independent Examination Board in short. More than 98% of the IEB learners passed the 2022 exams. Joining me now is Mahlomola Kekana, President of United Front for School Governing Bodies, alongside Mr. Vincent Zulu, who is the Senior Learner Support Manager representing SCI-BONO, here to tell us how they think the department can achieve narrowing down the difference in NSC pass rate between the government schools and former Model C schools to 7%. Gauteng has been doing well. It's been on 40% consistently, and now you're raising the bar to 50%. Is it achievable?
Thank you, sir. It's achievable, and there are programs in place from our side in assisting the department, particularly the Gauteng Department of Education. You are sitting in this broadcasting digital facility because of the Gauteng Department of Education. Because one of the things we are doing with this facility, we are producing maths and physical science content, and that maths and physical science content is used by these young people at their leisure time, but we're also planning a real-time broadcasting, as you know. As we speak, we are having a partnership with Soweto TV around that aspect to make sure that we broadcast to schools live, to try and make sure that we level the playing field, in a sense that you'll be having an expert in studio presenting content at high level to young people in schools using this digital facility, because this digital facility is capable of flighting lessons live, and those lessons are received through the smart boards in schools. But number two, we are also, as I indicated, having partnerships with universities and TVET colleges where we don't have universities, to ensure that at least we have quality results, particularly in maths and physical science. Those classes are running already in the University of Johannesburg in Soweto, and they will be running in the Egurleni East TVET College during the holiday program. We are busy with the Vaal University of Technology in Vaal to ensure that all those schools that are in Vaal are also benefiting, with the main focus on maths and physical science, just to make sure that that gap is closed. We are also using this particular facility, producing content that is provided to grade 11 learners, so that by the time they get to grade 12, at least we have closed all the gaps as far as foundations in maths and physical science is concerned. So there's quite a lot that is being done. We also have what we call the residential camps, where we take learners and incubate them in an accommodation. Learners stay there for a period of time, averagely for 5 days. There is a program there that is tailor-made to ensure that by the time a learner comes off that camp, that learner is ready to get quality results in maths and science. You are not then surprised why Gauteng at least has been having more than 40% bachelor passes for 3 consecutive years. I mean, that 50%, it's easy to achieve. I mean, with these kind of programs we are busy running in the partnerships we have.
Now, SCI-BONO, the Department of Education alone cannot achieve this without the integral stakeholder partner called the school governing bodies. Are you guys having your fingers on the pulse on what is happening within the school environment as part of you helping to achieve what the bigger institution like the Department of Education want to achieve? Where are you as school governing bodies?
Thank you so much, and good evening to the viewers at home and everywhere they are. Colin, let's start by pointing out a disturbing factor. In your introduction just now, you mentioned the fact that South Africa is still being examined by 2 bodies. And our children are evaluated by 2 bodies. One body that is out there since the days of apartheid. It's still there, the same body called Independent Examination Board. I think we need to outrightly start by saying and reminding government that we need to do away with the independent board, because there's no government control systems in the independent board. We have a structure, Umalusi, that does quality assurance. And we are troubled by the fact that 29 years since the dawn of democracy, we still have this independent body for the privileged, for the rich, for those who can afford to pay millions of rands into education, to get education. So we are repeating that call we've made pre-1994 to say that we need one examination board for the rest of the country. It's nonsense that today in 2023, since 1994, we're still being told that the children in the independent examination board are performing better than our children. So we want to outrightly remind government that it is really failing us as we approach 30th anniversary of our freedom in 2024. Let's do away with this monster called independent. One of the things we said was we want one single non-racial education department, and equally so with the examination board. I mean, who knows? We have had scandals. Even some ministers, they've had to be stripped the doctorates. And I remember one big national story. We're told there's no something called Dr. Balo Jordan, and he had to be even removed from parliament and all that. But then why do we still have this thing called independent examination board? That's not where we're going. But I thought I needed to sharply raise it to say that it's not fair for our children that they are continued to be put into this situation where those who are rich are seen to be doing better. You just said it rightly that Gauteng is doing better. It's not doing better, it's doing well. Comparing to the rest of the country, when you look at the numbers, we're having almost 800,000 learners who write Matric annually. And of that 800,000, 50% comes from Gauteng. You know, everyone wants to be in Gauteng because that's where everyone wants to be, you know, for better opportunities, you know. So we're saying Gauteng should not benchmark at 50%. We appreciate that they are doing well, but Gauteng should benchmark at 100%. You know, we just seen the MEC of Education in Gauteng through the legislature passing a 63 billion budget in the past few days. And with the type of resources that the taxpayer in Gauteng is investing in education, we shouldn't lower the bar. We shouldn't be saying, no, 2023, we want 90% pass rate. We must benchmark with the resources that are there and are being pumped into schools. Let's go for 100%. You saying what is it that school governing bodies are doing? We want to urge all parents, as we continue to be telling them when every school hosts a parents meeting, we asking parents, and that is why you see our children even on a Sunday they are in a school uniform on a Sunday, and that's the role of a parent.
Beautiful.
To ensure that on Saturday these kids are not being assigned to other responsibilities in a family, but to school. So we urging once again parents to continue to support this program that the Zulu speaks about, the camps. We've seen the results.
Let me just interject there and give the other bite to Baba Zulu. I just want to find out, how do we maintain the balance? Because it's good to see improvements and efforts made at a certain level. Are you empowering and helping those at the lower level so that you don't have a comparison where somebody says, I'm better off at the Saturday school as compared to the daily school? How do you balance this with the resources? Be it teachers, you name it. How do we balance this?
Look, the content and the material that we have is for public consumption. Even the schools that are not part of the the secondary school improvement program, they benefit from the material that we have. And there's no one who's chased away when coming to those centers. If a learner is hungry to participate, they come and we welcome them. So we make sure that in terms of the provision of material, everyone gets that material. Everyone has access to that particular material. Even learners from independent schools, they do access that particular material. So the material that we produce is accessible to everyone. If people are willing to use it, it's good. They must continue using it. So we try and make sure that the provision of resources is there for everyone.
More and more is still to come. And we're going to engage more when we look at the legal aspect of things. The law is there to govern so many things. But the better governance of this environment are the school governing bodies. We'll be back after a break. Welcome back to the show. We are still unpacking the Department of Education's plan to roll out the Gauteng Matric Improvement Plan for 2023 academic year. And of course, we are still joined by Baba Vincent Zulu, who is the Senior Learner Support Manager representing SCI-BONO, and Mahlomola Kekana, President of United Front for School Governing Bodies. Do you think there is a need for a change in perception in terms of how South Africans and South African learners view mathematics and science in general? What role does the support from home play in helping schools and ultimately the Department of Education achieve the goal of improving matric results, but more so maths and science that we are actually looking into? Maths and science, earlier on we spoke about it, Baba Zulu.
Yeah.
Reading with understanding, reading to execute.
Yeah.
And you're doing well.
Yeah.
Because the records are showing. How best can we improve on this?
Look, where I'm sitting, I also did maths and science up to university level. Maths is a practice subject. One, I want to actually talk to our young people as well, that if you have a purpose in life, you make sure that you channel your energy towards what you want to achieve. Because maths is a practice subject, it means whatever you've been taught at school by your maths teacher, you must also take time to practice and make sure that you master that particular topic, if I may say so. For me, those are the basics. But I also think that in lower grades, we have to make sure that we get the basics right. I'm not saying they are not right at the moment. The department is doing a lot. Hence, in the other show, you alluded to the fact that Gauteng is doing very well in producing bachelor passes. But my emphasis are with the young people. That young people, if you are doing maths, you must know that there is a lot of effort that you have to put in your work to ensure that you get quality results in mathematics, because maths is a practice subject. But also on your own, don't just rely on what teachers are teaching. You do research. These days, I mean, government has gone up to providing gadgets in schools. You know, there are ICT schools now in terms of ICT integration in education. They must use those resources optimally and make sure that they do more research around mathematics, around physical science. I mean, if you want to get results, you may not even, I'm not saying learners should not go to school, but you go online. Mm-hmm. There's an avalanche of content, of material that is out there. So if you only rely on what you are being taught, anyway, you are not going to achieve an A in mathematics. So tap into the resources that are provided by the department. There is quite a lot of resources that are out there. Because having gone through the same process of being taught basics in maths, I know where the gaps were. Hence, I could not excel in mathematics as much as I've done mathematics at university, but I realized when I was at varsity that the gaps in terms of content were here and there and there and there. But the young people we have these days are lucky, because with the current dispensation in terms of government, they make sure that these learners are taught, and they are taught fully. They've got the annual teaching plans that they can follow. Those annual teaching plans they can even follow on their own. So I'm trying to say these young people must have a purpose in life and make sure that they also channel their energies towards the right things, for instance, your mathematics and physics.
Now, Mahlomola, you're coming as a governor, and we're looking at reducing the difference in pass rate between the NSC and the IEB, percentage to 7%. Is that feasible? And also looking at the fact that, there's so many gaps. And I wonder if you guys are working together with principals as governors to see to it that we don't get a situation where young people has been doing well to grades of mathematics, come to grade 12. Principals just want to have a percentage and drop every kid to maths literacy. So how do we see to it that we channel this in the right way? Don't lose pure maths for the sake of having a percentage, but do the right thing.
No. The school governing bodies are regulating these things, and we trust the school management teams in respective schools to ensure that they deliver based on the policies that have been formulated. There's no policy that compels school children to be forced into dropping into maths literacy whatsoever. Our children must be allowed to have a choice, and based on their choice, they must be supported, and that's the role of school governing bodies and the role of parents in each and every home to ensure that these kids are supported. Presently, all over the country, you have school governing bodies out there raising funds and making sure that teachers do attend teacher development. It's an initiative by school governing bodies. We know in South Africa educators are not paid well, but I can assure you that every afternoon, almost every afternoon after schools, our educators go to teacher development centers to further empower themselves, and school governing bodies are financially supporting that initiative. The fact that there is that 7% pass gap, it's a concern. And that is why I'm outrightly, and I want to repeat myself, Gauteng, it's about time. We just passed a 63 billion budget. We've been given resources to go for 100%. Let's go for 100%. We have capacity, we have the know-how, we have quality in our education system in Gauteng. Let's go for 100%. And we want to urge SCI-BONO as we continue to support them. Parents are willing to come to these camps. School governing bodies are willing to come to these camps to support your facilitators, to support this program. And we ensure that you must see when these kids go to these camps, it is parents who are carrying their bags. When they get into those buses, it's parents who are making sure that they are doing well. So we want to encourage those parents to continue to do more, because through parental support, through parental involvement, and not only biological parents, by the way, we urging the society in general. We have always said education, it's a country's capex. It's a #1 priority for the country. And that is why even when budgets are outlined, the budget is biased to education. So we're asking for society in general to support education. And in this call, that one of the things that we need to say, it has been worth struggling for. As we approach the 3 decades of our freedom, let's celebrate that with a 100% pass rate.
Baba Zulu, let's come to this point. What effect does the condoning or progressing of young people to grade 12 has towards the pass rate?
Look, there is quite a lot of processes involved in condoning learners. It's not just something that people wake up and say you are condoned. They check quite a number of things. There are learners who may have not obtained those minimum requirements, maybe just because they are not serious about, getting to school and making sure that they study. There is quite a number of factors that may lead to a learner being condoned. But I may not divulge much on this show about this because there are experts at GDE who will give you the right information. But my understanding is that there is quite a whole lot of processes. But maybe let me quote someone I like, Napoleon Hill. Let me quote, he says, every failure or deficit brings with it a seed of an equivalent success. Close quote. It means the fact that I failed today doesn't mean I may not achieve. But when I fail because I made mistakes somewhere. I must go and look at the mistakes that I did and why, and correct them. Remember, once you do that, it means you have more experience. You can even master it more than the person who mastered it the first time. So the more you fail is the more you become experienced. So failure is not a bad thing. That is why the department condones some of these learners, because they see the potential. There is nothing wrong with it. Maybe you will be surprised if you go through the stats, you will be surprised that there are some of those learners who were condoned before, who are doing very well at varsity. So this issue of condonation doesn't contribute much in the poor results, because there are processes involved in ensuring that these learners actually get the results.
What I got up from here is failure is not the worst thing. The worst is when you don't try. So people do not fail, but they learn. We are going to take a quick break. We conclude this topic when we come back. Welcome back to the show. We are about to wrap this topic on Matric Improvement Plan by the Gauteng Department of Education. Joining me now is resident analyst Mzimkhulu, here to give us an analysis on how they see this plan pan out. Based on the time the department has given this new plan, and also looking at the amount of work still needed to be done in our schooling system, do you see it working out? Mzimkhulu, Shalela, is this thing going to work out?
It's a problem.
Problem?
Yes.
Solve the problem.
The Department of Education in Gauteng has been trying for the past 10 years or so, and their focus is not on assisting the learners. It's papering the cracks on the wall all the time. So it's a repetition of the same thing that doesn't produce any progress going forward.
So, Mzimkhulu, do you want to tell me it's null and void? What you've seen in the last stats of results has got nothing to do with improvement, or are we doing cut and paste? What's your point exactly?
A lot of cut and paste. You are doing a lot of cut and paste. Let's make an analysis of the system of education. If we have specialist teachers in the first instance, from grade 1 to grade 12, we won't have to do this cut and paste, because a child will be taught to comprehend the subjects that the child is learning. And if the subjects themselves are taken out of the aims of the child who goes to school, there's no company that will hire you when you get to them you produce your maths certificate, I've done well in maths or I've done well in physical science. They will only take you when you were taught a curriculum. You have done well in understanding welding. You have done well in understanding chemistry. You have done well in understanding bricklaying and so forth. So this thing, it's a cut and paste by a department who's trying to compete with other departments in other provinces to say that we have got this number of passes. And you can't go and say that you want bachelor passes. That's nonsense.
Ramzi, I just want to find out, balances. You are best at analyzing percentages and all that. The province has done well, 82%, though low at 30%. 54% has found the bachelors. 58% has reached Matric. From support structure and education and all that we see with supporting young people. So I just want us to understand, I want you to make me understand from a layman's point of view. From what you say is like nothing has been done, current pace, they are replicating what the previous regime did. But based on what, because of today, when you look at the grade 8 homework, you'll struggle to get into it to show that education one way or the other in Gauteng has taken a better level. So I don't know comparison. Where do we get this comparison that they're not doing anything?
If the Department of Education in Gauteng would say that we want to beat Free State, for instance, it's the selfish approach of the officials of the department. They want to be seen as if they are doing better. The interest of the learner are thrown into the dustbin. These learners, I will make an example of one school that whilst it was receiving this SIP program, it dropped. That school started at 50%. And the Department of Education in Gauteng said that let's intervene. Mm-hmm. Whilst they were intervening, the school dropped to 38%. Then they said that let's intensify our intervention. Mm-hmm. They intensified the intervention and the school dropped to 20%.
Okay, look, maybe we cannot put all this in one basket. I'll take you back without being personal. The school you once headed was at some point at 16%. Intervention came in. That school, as you speak today, went as far as 87% pass rate. So when we do this comparison, are we saying singling out a particular environment that is dire, that needs an overhaul, or are we looking at the progress across the board?
We should be looking at the progress across the board. We can't count one school that has been successful and say that the Department of Education is successful, therefore. The entire system must be working. And if whilst the department came with I can't remember the term, what zone, and the department also used the law, they termed certain schools as Section 58A or B schools, that these are schools that are underperforming. And they say that they are driving resources to those schools. Those schools are still in the doldrums, up to date, with all that assistance.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me find out from you. I suppose when you analyze whether it's whichever zone or institution, you'll always put the issues like, how did we fail? How do we get to that point? So that resources, when they come, mustn't just be ticking off the box, come in the relevant way. So I just want to find out, because it baffles me to observe these notions thrown all over the show. Because when you really interview those who are in the same space, will tell you, a lot of people still compare that and don't understand between A and B that there's something in the interim that we may not be aware of. So I just want to find out, when we critique these people and saying they're doing nothing, did we have the scientific knowledge or analysis of the area to say, I say failure because 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or we still saying what history has brought can never change?
Let's start on the last segment of your question.
Yeah.
What history has brought can be changed because life is dynamic.
Mhm.
It changes itself.
Mhm.
But if you have people who are bent, they are in the administrative scenario,
Mhm.
they are bent out of not wanting that progress to happen,
Mhm.
it won't happen. They will block it all the time. Let's make, you are asking, where does this failure come from?
Mhm.
All the so-called experts in the Department of Education are not experts at all. The analysis,
okay.
the analysis,
Substantiate.
I'm substantiating
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
In 2002,
Mhm.
Parliament instructed all provinces
Mhm.
to say that create a support structure,
Mhm.
not an administrative structure.
Ah.
Create a support structure to support schools, support school governing bodies. The officials in Gauteng are replacing school governing bodies.
Mm.
They are pushing now, there's a Bella Act that is being discussed. They are pushing that they take all the powers of the SGBs,
Mhm.
and including the power of employing. When the law is giving the SGB the power to run the school, Section 20, subsection 1, says that the governing body must strive to develop the school and offer quality education. The officials from the Department of Education, they come. They don't even have a certificate that says that you have passed what you are coming to assist the school with. I'm a subject advisor. And then they go, I advise you on maths. Then I advise you to take your children to do maths literacy because we don't get the numbers, the 50% that they are targeting. So let your children do maths literacy. Let's all pass at 30% and 40%. So they come here and say that we are benchmarking at 50%. What's wrong for benchmarking at 100%? If you say that you want a 50% bachelors, where do you think this 50% is going to get to? These number games to say that we were good here and this is just a number game, and it's done to baffle the people. Bafaka udaka ebusweni babantu ukuthi hayi i-department ibikhulumile 10 years ago, ikhuluma the same story. Akukho lutho oluphucukile.
Baba Mzi, this journey with you is going to be longer than I thought. I like it that you are mentioning the law, you're looking at the preambles, but within, actually look at the value of certain preambles. This empowerment may actually be misconstrued one way or the other because of it also empowers, the very preamble also empowers the principal to look at the situation and sometimes override certain things, because of when you talk about governance, we talk about policy, and policy must never disturb the practical side of things. But then, because of time, me and you continue to share that if you get this out. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the show. Thank you for joining us today. We also want to thank the guest Saruna, Baba Vincent Zulu, who is the Senior Learner Support Manager representing SCI-BONO, and later Wemkens. We are shared I can see. But hey, somehow we have to be progressive as well, because we can't be sticking to one thing and losing the eye on what is relevant and what is happening presently. I hope me and you will do better in the next week, where we get them. You're doing well.
Thank you.
That's how we come to the end of the show tonight. Eskela. My name is Colin Hans, and thank you so much to all the guests. Baba Vincent Zulu, who is the Senior Learner Support Manager representing SCI-BONO. And of course, Baba Mahlomola Kekana, the President of the United Front of School Governing Bodies. And for me, till the next time, this Eskela continues. Bye-bye.